How we doing, guys? My name is Jeff Greenan, aka my friend Jeff, co-founder of Make Jersey House Again. I'm so excited to finally bring our second episode of Talkin' House, our official podcast to discuss all things life and house music. For this episode, we caught some wisdom from Dutch native Dennis Quin as he gears up for his US tour and Jersey Shore debut with us on March 1st. Dennis tells us about his friendship with house music legend Kerri Chandler, early life growing up in Amsterdam, and shares some insight for new DJs and producers. Listen here and come out to our event, No Requests, with Dennis Quin on March 1st. Yeah, take me through, the beginning, man. I like to start from the beginning and get your whole story. So, yeah, take me through the beginning, early life, growing up. How'd you get
Yeah.
into house and music and everything?
Yeah, I grew up in Amsterdam, near the west with my mom and dad, and just a regular family. One kid only. I don't have any brothers and sisters, and I always was with music, like recording my own voice, playing a piano, keyboard. And unfortunately, my mom passed away in 1992. And I was really on my own, like feeling lonely, and I needed a distraction. And that was the time when house music evolved in the Netherlands from the US, UK, and all influences came across. So that was my like distraction for my grief, and to literally focus on something to feel good. So,
Yeah.
and first record I ever got or bought or got from my cousin, I guess it was Dreamer G. I Got That Feeling, which is Kerri Chandler, obviously. So that was my first mark of house music. Wow, what is this? Like four to the floor kick, nasty gritty beats, bass lines. And I remember my dad didn't understand anything about it. He was like listening to boom, boom, boom. What's this repetitive shit? So, and from
Yeah.
there, fast forward, it was always like a hobby of mine during my education, my work. Actually, I started to work as a sales representative, like Sony, LG, etc. So I worked for distributors, sales companies, and it was straight fast forward to COVID. I wanted to quit my day job in 2019 to try if I could like make a living out of music. And I was always producing and DJing as a side business, but I never had the guts to give up my day job up until 2019. But then COVID came, so luckily I could work for 1.5 years furthermore. And straight after COVID, I took the decision to, okay, let's go for it. It's now or never, and explore the world, get my US visa going on. And now we're here, like 3.5 years later,
Yeah.
um, being happy, educating as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a long story.
Like you said, a few years ago, you decided to leave your 9 to 5 and really kind of take a leap of faith and go full into that. So just talk to us a little bit about how that came about and how you felt after you made that leap. And I'm sure it ended up being a positive decision in the long run.
It's almost, no, it's 3 years ago now, isn't it? Yeah, I quit my day job in 2022, this in November. So that's more than 3 years now. And it's the best decision ever. I'm feeling younger, more energetic, doing my thing, making a living out of my music, and teaching 1 day a week at the Herman Brood Academy. That's the official Dutch education for music producers and DJs in dance, hip hop, rock, etc. And I'm doing the dance division once a week with the young guys, teaching them and guiding them with the production process, but as well as developing as an artist to be steady and not being vulnerable in this badass world outside. So yeah, and I'm getting younger each year. That's a joke, but I'm feeling like I'm in the middle. I'm not
Sure.
sitting at the bar talking at how it used to be in 1992,
Yeah.
but I'm using both of my leverage and legacy knowledge of old records into a new way, appealing to the younger crowd. So I was
Yeah.
very surprised when I looked at my Spotify stats and geographics that my on average audience is 18 till 22 years old. That's the biggest chunk of the cake. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. That's really
Yeah.
interesting because people don't know, a lot of kids don't know about old school house. It's new for them, right? So I found the sweet spot. I'm enjoying it.
Speaking of New Jersey natives, Kerri Chandler, right? So just talk to us a little bit about how did that whole friendship and relationship come about?
So I met the former A&R of Madhouse Records, the label Kerri runs for years, since 1990 or 92. His record with the black purple sleeve, right? And I was talking about him. I met him during ADE in Amsterdam in 2014, 15. And I signed the first record there, and I was happy to meet Kerri at a Dutch festival. I still had my day job then back, so I wasn't able to go to the US and for weeks touring or whatever. And I met Kerri, and it was just like instantly friendship, and we exchanged numbers, and he's a geek. He's a professor of synths and of sounds and doing the most strangest things with tape. You know, you saw him performing live with the tape decks, right? So that's Kerri. But I had a question to him. What sound is this record? How did they make the synthesizer sound like this? And he was like, texting me all night, sending audio messages. Yo, you take the Juno 106, and they had a modification. They had an external board or something like that. I'm just making it up now, but long story short, we became more than friends, and it's just like, I remember then we talked about his dad passing and my mom, so we connected on a personal level next to talking about knobs and filters and resonant things on the synthesizer. And then I had this idea to honor my mom. My mom passed away in 1992. So it was in 2020, 2021, when I had the idea to write a song to honor my mom instantly. And I called Kerri, would you be up to play the keys? I'm like, wow, this is so special. And I know a singer, Troy Denari, he can do great vocals for you as well. So Troy Denari sounds really American, right? Troy Denari. So I texted Troy Denari for 2 weeks. Yo, brother, what up? Are you do a studio session remote? And I was like, yeah, man, I'm living in the Netherlands. And oh, okay, in 2 hours driving in the south. And we talked about stuff in music, and we planned a date. And just before the date, he was like, I think you are Dutch, right? I'm, and he said, yeah, me too. I'm like, fuck you. We just have conversation in English going on for weeks. And then I found out he was Dutch. So I recorded the track Be Strong, which is a very touching song for my mom. I remember Chris Tossi and Prunk played it straight before pandemic, before everything shut down. And it was touching, it's a warm, personal track. I won't play it that much because it's too personal. And then just before we recorded it, we had Kerri on FaceTime, and Kerri was shedding a tear because he was touched by it. So that's music, emotion. And I remember I was about to leave the studio of Troy Denari. We recorded it. I was about to make it. And he said, oh, before you go, one more thing. Do you want the outtakes I recorded for Kerri of You're in My System? I did it for him for a live set for Southport Weekender Festival in the UK.
Yeah.
I'm like, hell yeah. Please, can you send it to me with approval from Kerri? So I remember I wanted to make a new version, and that's my secret. Being the guy, I'm going to rework a classic and it's better than the OG version, right? But I wanted to make it sound Dennis Quin, 2019 it was. And then I crafted my own beats. I replayed the SH-101 bass, and I took some samples from the original with the Troy vocal, and that became the 2019 version of You're in My System.
Oh, wow, that's awesome, man.
I got this vocals and I wanted to make it. I still do it. I make edits for my sets, right? So when I played March 1st, you will hear a lot of unreleased edits, and people are always stepping up. Are you going to release it? No, it's just for my sets. I don't want to play different than anybody else. Everyone else does on Beatport DJ pools, etc. So that was my. I had no expectations that it was going to be released officially, and it did. So
Yeah.
we did a 2023 recreation as well. So that's a timeless record, and I think I don't want to be the guy who's saying it's better than the original, which isn't the case, but it's more like my vision of new beats, more up-to-date mixing, but still honor the original. So and with Troy, he did a fantastic job. Even Mick Murphy, from the System, the original 1983 version, sent me messages like, "Yo, DQ, I love what you did, man. Would you be up to work with me on some tracks or do a DQ remix?" And I got some news. I'm actually doing. I couldn't resist Mick Murphy. He's a legend and the originator of "You're in My System." So I'm about to finish a remix for his track on Kerri's label as well.
Wow, very cool.
That cool. Circle is complete, right? So that's
Very
very
nice.
special.
Man, and just to touch on the Colorado Charlie party, and like Kerri, I feel like it's so nice when you get a legend like that, like Kerri, who's very down to earth, and he's not letting the fame get to his head, and he's like, let's just play, man. Let's just enjoy and vibe out. I love that that aspect when an artist can stay like that, right? Stay grounded. So that's so cool.
Yeah, and of course you have management companies being involved with some artists, and I think as an artist you need a team. I've got a big booking agency, but also people who work on travel or advancing, so you cannot manage it all. But as a true artist, you want to be a true person to one another, and especially the crowd will sense that. If there's no vibe in the booth, that's Quin vibes. Actually, we're creating a unique vibe in the booth, and the people are reading that. They are sensing the vibe, so that's kind of great to experience. And Kerri has become a close friend since years, and we share so many same thoughts about visions of life, music, doing what you love, and express that to your fan base, actually, to your musical fan base and your audience. So that's really great. And I'm so grateful to be around him. And we don't always specifically have the same tastes music wise, but it's a perfect blend, So yeah.
Are there any weird habits or rituals you like to do before you get in the booth? It doesn't have to be right before, maybe the morning of, or even right before. Like, is there anything that you got to make sure I got to do this so I can go have a nice set?
I'm just very keen on sorting my USB sticks. Where do I have them? Like, I need to have them in my right pocket. That's the one. I need to have them in my right pocket of my jeans, my trousers, but not in my bag of my headphone. Then I get stressed out. So that's a ritual. Yeah.
Around a chain, because I put it on my neck. That way I know it's always there. Oh, there we go. Good man. Yes.
I put it in my ear. Right?
Yeah, because you're in the
club walking in the club like this.
Yeah. There you go. So what about producers at the moment right now? Is there anybody that you're specifically vibing to? Any new EPs that came out that I got to get my hands on those?
I love Garrett David. I love Madvilla. Sound-wise, they're bringing so much flavor to their production, so much life in sounds and choices of grooves. Yeah, there are a couple of young talented guys as well, but it's not. It's one way or another. I listen to a track, it's for me or not for me. I'm not
sure.
Even I can blindfold test it. I don't care about who made it. It's just like I'm getting more interested. If I like the track, I'm gonna dive deeper into socials or their profile, or what did they do on which label, and then I need to follow this guy or girl, and from there on. So but I love Madvilla. Is just like, I love his sound, and that I think that's
I'm gonna have to
that's
check
the
them
one
out
thing.
now.
Brian, if you're listening, I love you, man. Your productions are so badass, and we need to work together on a collab soon. So
that's it, man. That's modern day crate digging, right? You find an artist you like, you find one of their tracks. Oh, okay, I like this track. All right, let's see what else have they put out. Check their socials. Oh, we got this EP coming out. Oh, they did this one a year ago. Modern day crate digging, right? I
That's it,
love
and
that, man.
using Bandcamp as well. It's no secret that everybody's using Bandcamp to dig rates deeper. I'm going to look at your collection, the people who are having your records, Jeff, and then seeing their collection and seeing, oh, they got a Dennis Quin record, and seeing they have a Kerri record. So what's his flavor? So you're just looking through windows to other people's collection. You
Yeah,
know, that's kind of
yeah.
unique, and it's good to do. You know.
Anybody else that you want to give a quick shout out to? Anybody that comes to mind?
Yeah, my boy Job de Jong and Jembek from the same agency, but they are killing it right now, and Marsolo as well. So the new young generation, founding the sweet spot of pure house sound, and each
Hell yeah.
guy in their own way. But Marsolo is killing it in the UK. It's just like he's gonna release his step-by-step track on 360, heavily supported by Coulter and Chris Tussie, and he's a former student of mine as well. I just started teaching when he graduated, so I didn't teach him personally, but I'm so proud of this guy, this new kids going on, and Job is having this flair on stage presence and his sound. So it's great. And Jembek is doing the same thing. So I love the guys. I love to be with them. And actually, I had them all three playing at Quin Fights Hintergarten in December when we did a spontaneous Christmas gathering, and it was sold out instantly. So
Oh
I
yeah.
played back to back with Marsolo. We did a three back with Job de Jong and a jam back afterwards to close the party. So love you guys.
We talked about some unreleased already. Is there any specific song that you're like, I gotta drop this one come March 1st?
The track that's on my, if you take a look at my TikTok, do you have TikTok, right? If you
I
see
do,
the
yeah, yeah.
pinned video, the first one, when I play in the loft, the Adam Tower during PIF, ADE. That's
Yeah.
the one I'm definitely going to drop. So I'm not telling
Nice.
the name of the
Hell
track
yeah.
yet. So, but it's going to be out this year on my own label. So that's a
Nice.
scoop.
Oh, very
I'm
cool. Very
definitely going to
cool.
play it in Jersey. I'm definitely going to play
Nice.
it in Jersey March 1st.
Nice,
So
man. That's awesome. We're excited, man. Yeah, that show, I was seeing the socials from that show. That looked awesome, man. That was AD, that was ADE. Yeah.
yeah, last year, and I played a
Nice.
morning set, like an after-hour set from 7 a.m. and I'm just living 20 minutes from the venue. So I decided to be the smart guy, go back home night before I played and have some couple of hours of sleep, having a coffee, driving myself to the venue. And all the people were going on and on like all day, all night. And I
Yeah.
remember the stage manager stepped up to me. What do you like to drink? Like a vodka or gin and tonic? I'm like, no, I would like a coffee, man.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
like 7
it's
a.m. Yeah.
it's 7 a.m., man. Yeah.
Yeah, at 7 a.m., but it was Friday. It was foggy outside, just as it is now. So normally
Yeah.
there's a great sunrise at 7 a.m., 7:38, and now it was just one blur of fog. And actually, that was in my big advantage because it was proper after hours. It was dark, it was shady, it was a good vibe, you know. So
Yeah.
and then I
Yeah.
dropped that record, so went crazy.
Yeah. Cool, man. So I just want to kind of pivot a little bit. Where was your most recent country gig? Where was the last place you traveled to?
2 weeks ago, I traveled to Switzerland, near
Okay.
Zurich. It was very, very cold, and it was a small, intimate club of 200 people capacity, and they had a
Nice.
badass sound system, a good set of void speakers, so it was good. And there wasn't really a scene out there, and the promoter said, "Okay, we love your sound, and but don't expect people to dance." I'm like, "Okay, let's see." You know, I'm not worried.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
afraid. And then I played one of my tracks and I played one of the edits. And then I had them just a crowd full of people vibing. And there was only
Nice.
one person filming, that was the friend of a promoter backstage or just on stage filming me. And there were no phones to be detected in the
Nice.
crowd. And I loved it. It was a very, I love the contrast of bigger festivals, outside shows. Of course, everybody loves nice weather.
Yeah,
But I also love in wintertime, small, intimate venues with a good sound system. So you can just stand with the crowd and people are close to the booth. That's what I like. Yeah.
yeah, I agree, man. It's hard to talk negative about a nice outdoor pool party, warm weather, but that's where my heart's at, the small intimate club. You know, the dark, the music's pumping, people are dancing. That's kind of how I came up going around New
Yeah, and
York City and
I don't need oxygen cannons or CO2 cannons
yeah,
or how do you call it
yeah,
to spice up the room. It's
yeah,
a good light show is good, but I don't need fog or don't need all those bullshit. It's just
I
pure
agree.
vibing with the crowd. I want to see what the crowd's doing. I don't look at a
Yeah,
foggy wall, for instance. I hate it.
yeah,
I just want to see the people dance, and that's the most
I agree, man.
enjoyable part of DJing.
A good
Yeah.
sound system. You want some people sweating, man. You want them breaking a sweat on the dance floor.
Yeah.
I think you'll see some interesting dance moves here in Jersey. I feel like New York and New Jersey are notorious for kind of having some like dance circles and people really breaking it down. So I'm hoping we can
Yeah, I love
create
that.
that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
That's how I
Yeah.
came up, man. We used to have this venue. It's still around, but they don't really do dance music anymore. But it was called Governor's Island. So it's this
Okay.
little island off of the coast of Manhattan. I really started going there before before they probably should have let me in. I started going when I was like 16, and my friends would take me down, and we would see like Danny Tenaglia and Victor
Oh wow, yeah.
Calderone, Chris Liebing. So I mean, we were getting at it at a young age. There was dance circles, people holding up flags and all that. It was just that's how I kind of got introduced to the whole rave scene, and the rest is history, So
Yeah, Danny
love it, man. Yeah,
Tanaka, Roger Sanchez, all the OG kind of guys, and Todd Terry
yeah,
as well, of course.
yeah.
Yeah,
Todd Terry, yeah,
nice.
love Todd,
Yeah,
man. But
yeah.
yeah, man. Look, March 1st, we're gonna try our best to get you some dancers out on the floor, show you how we do it in Jersey, man. That's amazing. Yeah, I resonate with that too, right? Because I think one of the quotes I like a lot is house music is a feeling, right? So I
Yeah.
think that's all of us that are. And another thing I like to say too is if everybody liked it, it wouldn't be special, right? Like it's our
That's it.
thing. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
our thing. Like everything's a commodity nowadays, and there's so much fakeness in the world and stuff that's getting put out. But we can all, as house heads, we can all kind of come as a community and say, this is our thing. We like this. We can connect through it, right?
yeah.
And yeah,
I think for me personally, it's all about non-hype. It's about a
yeah,
feeling, being authentic, but TikTok and all the social media and music is content nowadays, which is you have to embrace it. Even AI
sure,
kind of stuff. I'm not the guy who's saying I'm against all those developments, but it's more like
sure,
for me, it's being true to your sound and yourself. And
yeah,
if I make music, it's Dennis Quin you get, and no high intentions to have a short-term success. It's just from the soul, from the heart. That's house music for
sure,
me. Period.
yeah,
The only like calling I've got for myself is to make people dance and to make people
that's
smile and enjoy it myself as well. And
yeah,
refer to Kerri Chandler. Kerri always told me, you want people to leave better than they came to the party,
yeah,
right? So make
yeah,
their weekend great. Forget about their troubles on the dance floor. That's basically it in a nutshell. That's
yeah.
what we
I
do.
love, I love that, man. I love that. I totally agree. You could talk like top 3 gigs you've had. I know that might
Wow.
be a challenging one, but what do you think? Anything that comes to mind?
Yeah, I accidentally started Quin fights last year.
Yeah,
I was asked by a venue to do Dennis Quin and Friends. I'm like, okay, everybody does invites or and friends or
yeah,
back-to-back sets. That nothing special. And I'm like, what if I make it more Quin fights, Quin invites, and I asked my good friend Kerri, Dungeon Meat as well, but also Benny Rodriguez, my Dutch house hero and good friend, and they were all like, "Yeah, man, I would love to do it, like spontaneous gathering in the booth." So I did Colorado Charlie, which is a beachside venue,
Yep.
like a terrace on the Dutch coast. And everything fell into place. The weather was nice. It wasn't too warm, wasn't too freezy, too chilly. And Kerri played with me a back-to-back set. And he, I remember he went to the venue. It's only 20 minutes from the airport. He was there like an hour before his set time. And the promoter was like, "Okay, then we have Dennis Quin, then we have Kerri Chandler." I'm like, "Maybe we can do a 2.5, 3 hour back-to-back." And I remember Kerri stepped into the booth like, "Yo, man, how are you?" I'm like, "Do you want coffee or something to eat?" "No, man, I'm here for you. Let's go. Let's play."
Yeah.
And it was a vibe. It was a train starting from the start, and no one knew where it would end. It was one warm blanket of soulfulness, edginess, even Latin Afro beats. And it was
Yeah.
it was definitely the highlight of last year. Um, and I don't want to do Quin fights that often. It needs to be special.
Yeah.
For instance, I'm about to confirm it for doing it in London as well. The other one is, I think, BU Dungeon Meet in December in London was very special because
Nice.
I both released on the two labels, like Dungeon Meet, more underground, slap funk kind of stuff, and BU is more British. We just talked about it before you hit the
Yeah.
record button on this
Yeah.
interview. And I
Yeah.
found the perfect sweet spot for myself to enjoy that set. And I've heard back from people that they loved it. So and that my mission succeeded. And
Nice.
of course, Miami Music Week, my debut last year in March at Factory Town was insane. I expected to. I had the assumption that I needed to play more tech house, rolling RMX 1000 like snare rolls, da, 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 da. And
Yeah.
I started with those kind of tracks within my spectre, and in a sudden I was like, maybe I should try my own Dennis Quin grooves. And there
Yeah.
I had them, just like one vibe, people dancing, and I'm on the right track now. So it was
Nice.
a good
Nice.
experiment. Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
First, what was your first international gig?
I think it was Morocco
Oh wow.
back then.
Very cool.
That's a side story. Back in 2010, 2011, Latin Afro House was Netherlands, like Rule and Doors, Gregor Salto, but also the defected releases back then were more like DJ Gregory kind of stuff, percussion based. And my neighbor just heard some music from my attic window. It was like, "What the fuck are you making? Are you producing house music? Are you playing? Are you DJing?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm doing both." "Oh, can I have a look at your place and do a cup of coffee?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So we vibed, and we created instantly a side duo, and Quin. And Marcus and Quin back then it was Latin house, like dum 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 digga digga dum 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 dum, that kind of house. And it was so popular in Morocco and Tunisia. So we played a couple of gigs in Casablanca, Rabat, Agadir, Moroccan cities. And we were treated like superheroes, like, "Oh, you're from the country from Armin van Buren and Martin Garrix and Hardwell." They had to stand in line to have their t-shirts signed and take pictures, etc. We were just like Dutch, well, non-arrogant Amsterdam guys, having fun and having a weekend off and playing tunes over there. So that was my first 2010, I guess, 2010.
2010. Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy. So tell me, man, I'm just curious, tour life from I've heard from other folks. Sometimes it can be challenging, right? When you're traveling, when you're gigging, are you do you get to sleep at all, or are you running on fumes? Like, how does that go for you?
Oh yeah, I'm just my sleep rhythm is everything but quantized, so it's really tough to. I'm super tall. I'm 6'7" for European measurements. It's just 2 meters 2 centimeters tall. I'm a big
Yeah,
guy, and I'm always having trouble to sit comfortable in my seat on an airplane. So I normally fly economy plus or emergency exit. And I made this joke to Dungeon Meet or to BU crew with a video before the gig. What's your ultimate travel hack? I'm like, if I don't fit in a seat, I fly cargo.
yeah, I saw that.
It's a
I
little
saw
bit
that.
freezy up there, like 30,000 feet. I need a heating system in the cargo area. But no, all
Yeah,
jokes aside, I'll manage. I'm quite strict when it comes to. I'm not doing drugs. I'm barely doing alcohol, and I'm not judging
yeah,
people who do. But for me personally, it's a choice to stay focused, and
sure.
music is my drug. But that
Yeah,
keeps me fresh with time zones, traveling, and crazy
yeah,
schedules, club in, club out. So yeah, I'll manage, and passion takes over. I remember playing in Floyd in
sure.
Miami last year after Miami Music Week, and I wasn't feeling well. I had something to eat that didn't work out well
Hmm.
in my system. And I was walking from the hotel to the club, and the security guy who picked me up and like, "Yo, dude, are you okay? You look like pale as fuck." And I'm like, "No, I'm just feeling nauseous. I don't know if I'm able to play." And the moment I put in my USB stick into the CDJ, it was gone. It was
It
just
was
when
gone.
passion took over. It was so
Yeah,
insane. Like I forgot about being nauseous, having a stomach ache, and
yeah,
I realized, okay, this is what I live for. This is what I do, and
yeah.
yeah, no. But you have to take care of yourself mentally as well, and
Sure.
physically. Eat well, sleep, try to sleep well, and not doing crazy shit out of
Yeah,
just being focused on your gig and take your rest during weekdays. So that's what I do.
yeah. Anything about the house scene that you'd like to change today, or just like a message to the younger generation? Stick to your guns, or anything like that.
Yeah, enjoy it, and I'm not in a position to tell people what to do or not to do, but I think sense the music, sense the vibe, and visit artists, new up and coming artists, not only the sophisticated names out there, but just dive deeper into some talented producers and artists, of which you don't expect them to play a certain sound. Let you surprise with what they do. That's my main message, I guess. So the unexpected factor, I think that's more important nowadays. And get
Love
off
that, man.
TikTok, kids. Don't use TikTok anymore. But no, I'm just kidding. Don't use TikTok anymore, but use TikTok to properly, and don't see the world through TikTok. Go out there. I'm teaching the
Sure.
guys at school. Get your ass out there. Go to venues. Talk to promoters. Speak to fans.
Yep.
Mingle with the crowd. Vibe, sense, smell. Go back and let your experience evolve in the studio. And don't see
Yeah.
everything on your screen as that's the world, right? So
Sure.
big
Yeah.
Coachella or ultra kind of stages. That's the goal a lot of kids have, but they don't know how to start with 20 capacity people or maybe two people showing up and playing their set and enjoying themselves. So that's how it all starts. So
Yeah.
that's my message.
The music industry is like any other business. You should go out and you should network, and you should meet people in person. And DJs reach out to us and they're like, "Hey, we want to spin for you." It's like,
Yeah.
come out to our event, man. We're doing stuff all the time. Pop out, show your face, and be part of the community. And yeah, we'll welcome you with open arms. DQ, thank you for dropping some wisdom on us today. Yeah, man,
Thanks,
like I
Jeff.
said, we're so excited to have you March 1st. And it's gonna be an awesome time. And yeah, man, I can't wait. Thank you guys so much for listening to our second episode of Talkin' House. Don't forget to grab tickets to our show with Dennis on Saturday, March 1st at Headliner Nightclub in Neptune, New Jersey. Dennis is planning to bring a sound that has never been heard in New Jersey before. Tickets are available at MakeJerseyHouseAgain.com. Join the movement. Make Jersey House Again.